Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
2 weeks ago, Richard Schmitz was sentenced to 10 years in jail for the death of Michelle Will. During this 11-year investigation, local chatter became more involved as the detectives worked the case.
The investigations captain said that those working the case had to hear what was being said, but to make sure it was fact and not opinion.
You can't ignore the facts when you strip all that away, what that points to, and that points to Mr. Schmitz being ultimately responsible. So that does create difficulties when people are talking about it, but you work through it. You determine whether it's factual or not to the best of your ability.
The Pennington County Sheriff's Office hopes that this resolution can bring some peace to the family of Michelle Will. A man who's dedicated his career to helping others is accused of embezzling money from those under his care in Minnehaha County. Irvin Archambault worked at the Arch in Sioux Falls for 5 years as a counselor. Last year, he was promoted to a role where he was in charge of the residents' money.
Court documents say he allegedly mishandled a total of about $19,000 in just a couple of months. Currently is listed as the executive director of the South Dakota chapter of the National Association of Social Workers. His initial court hearing is on April 8th. Investigators are looking into what caused a crash in eastern Sioux Falls. It happened early this morning on East 18th Street, just west of Interstate 229. Our KELOLAND news crew was able to capture this video of the scene. An SUV can be seen on its roof while a car is up against a tree.
A sergeant with Sioux Falls Police tells us there were no serious injuries. We hope to learn more at this morning's police briefing. You can watch it live right here on KELOLAND.com starting at 10:30.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Munt. Good morning, Scott.
All right. Good morning, Travis. Good morning, everybody. We are looking at a, well, dare I say, a non-windy day today, not as strong as what we've had over the past couple of days. And temperatures will reach the 50s and 60s for highs with mostly sunny skies. A high of 55 in Sioux Falls and Aberdeen, 54 in Pierre, and 63 in Rapid City. More details on a KELOLAND Live Doppler forecast with Brian coming up.
Thank you, Scott. Guidelines are changing for inmates making phone calls on tablets within South Dakota's Department of Corrections. According to a memo to staff from the DOC, inmates won't be able to make more than 3 calls in one day. Additionally, calls won't be able to last longer than 20 minutes.
According to the memo, calls might begin again this week. They were suspended from tablets in early March. Both South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem and a DOC correctional officer whom we interviewed said tablets motivated a disturbance at the penitentiary last week. The Cheyenne River Sioux Tribal Council has voted to ban Noem from its reservation. Part of the ban stems from comments the governor made about some tribal leadership in the state allegedly benefiting from the cartels.
The Cheyenne River Sioux Tribal chairman calls the allegations false. A spokesperson for the governor says banning her does nothing to solve the problem. In February, she was banned from the Pine Ridge Reservation. Local election workers will be putting their tabulating machines through their paces later this morning, and you can watch the process unfold.
The Minnehaha County auditors and the city clerk's offices will be conducting a test of the machines to make sure they're in working order to count ballots cast in next Tuesday's City Council school board elections.
We have a pre-marked test deck that we run through. We've gone through this test deck prior. We did some testing last week just to make sure the machines were running properly. That way, if there's any errors or malfunctions, we can get those fixed beforehand.
Testing will start at 10 a.m. in the Commission chambers on the 3rd floor of the Minnehaha County Administration Building. The public is invited to watch.
And that's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karsten. Brian?
All right, weather as we head toward the weekend. Well, we got a couple of headlines we need to get to. First of all, in the Black Hills, we have a winter storm watch in effect where heavy wet snow is becoming more and more likely, and that could cause quite a few issues. Depending on these temperature forecasts, we're going to continue to keep a very close eye on that. But if it switches to all snow, over a foot could occur in some of these higher elevation areas, including Lead and Deadwood and also Hill City and Custer. So that headline there is Saturday night into Sunday. Now, the probability of even getting 6 inches of snow is already pretty good. 60% or better in Hill City. 90% levels once you get up into the Terry Peak area and Lead and Deadwood. Obviously, getting a foot is also pretty big consideration there in the northern hills. So putting that story out there, we'll continue to monitor that. In addition to those headlines, we also have the chance of some severe weather in Nebraska. It's a marginal risk Saturday night, but the thing we want to point out is the fact that this has shifted a little north, and I do expect there's going to be a lot of wind with this storm system out of the southeast. And in fact, let's go backward on that map here. I want to show you, first of all, Futurecast as it brings in those numbers here into the 50s to start off the forecast today. That's fine. Today will be a nice day, but see that southeast wind already this afternoon in Rapid City? That is going to expand. And then even into tomorrow, there'll be a stronger wind in western South Dakota. It'll actually be pretty mild, though. We'll hit the 60s for many of us. Sioux Falls may come close to 60 tomorrow, and I expect more 60-degree weather on Saturday. But see how the rain starts to pick up in the west? And once we get to Saturday night, that's when Spearfish is going to turn into that heavy, wet snow. And getting into Sunday morning, that's when that could pile up pretty quickly. Sioux Falls area, it's likely we'll be seeing that rain chance pretty high Saturday night. And additional showers could be in the wraparound as that big low sits there and spins right across the heart of Ketherland into Monday morning. Oh, and speaking of Monday, now this graphic here, I wanted to show you the cloud forecast for the eclipse day. It's looking pretty thick across portions of North and South Dakota into portions of Minnesota. Obviously, it's still a little ways off, so we'll keep an eye on that. And it looks like that'll be one of our issues as we start off next week. 58 our temperature today in Mitchell, 70 though in Pine Ridge. The 7-day forecast trend is reduced a little bit with the rain, of course, Sunday and early Monday. And then Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, right around 60 degrees. I think it'll feel pretty spring-like. Aberdeen in the northeast, areas of rain likely as we get to Saturday night and Sunday. And that'll be a stiff east wind that'll make it feel blustery and cool. Pier forecast, also a good chance of rain with this system. At this point, we're not calling for snow in central South Dakota, but we are calling for snow chances, obviously, as we just talked about in the Black Hills, Saturday night into Sunday. So keep a close eye on that. Check out the details with the rest of the weather at KEBLELAND.com.